DareDevil Born Again is officially dropped on Disney this week, and we were lucky enough to get both episodes 1 and 2. And now we take a lesson from the good old days where we just view each episode on a week-to-week basis, like it's the 1990s again. Just drop all the episodes at once, let me binge the hell out of it. Before we talk some shop and do a full-on recap of both episode 1 and 2, let's go ahead and make us a tasty little refreshment to keep us going. You got ice, ounce and a half of rum, half-ounce brandy, half-ounce grenadine, lime juice, 2 bitters. Oh, it's red. We're going to do a little bit of chili powder on this bitch. Cocktail cherry to garnish. There we have our DareDevil cocktail. Sure. So DareDevil's back, and I am very excited for this, and I was excited when they first announced it, what felt like years ago, that this was getting a reboot, because honestly, it was a story that I felt was left untold. You had your whole Defender series that was on Netflix with your Luke Cage, your Jessica Jones, your Iron Fist, and your Daredevil. You even had the Punisher mixed in there, which was honestly, out of those, probably my favorite. And each one just had a little bit of a spark that you thought that they were going to do really well together, and then when they made that Defenders series, it just fucking sucked. Luke Cage had one good season. Jessica Jones had one good season. Iron Fist had like half a good season. Punisher, I fully enjoyed both seasons. But then also Daredevil, I enjoyed both seasons. Because honestly, it was the best cast. It was the best overall storyline. And they did the absolute best with this character. Like, they didn't throw any weird bullshit in there. And he just all around was able to perform to his peak level. What are we going to see in this new season that's going to be any different than what we've seen before? Or that's going to keep it going longer than just 2 seasons? Oh, I should forewarn you, there are big fat spoilers coming. I'll tell you how you shake it up a little bit. You start the first episode, the first 10 minutes, you go Game of Thrones style, and you kill one of the biggest characters in the entire series right off the back. Just shoot him and be done with him. That's the end of it. There's no coming back. There's no resurrecting. He's dead. I'm talking, of course, of Foggy. Like, he is Matt's best friend. He is one of the biggest characters in the show, if not like the second or third biggest character in the show. And they just fucking shot him. I don't know how I feel about it, to be completely honest. I kind of felt like, I wanted to see a little Foggy, but they were like, nope, 10 minutes is enough screen time for this guy. Now, the episode does start off in the first 10 minutes with Foggy getting shot by Bullseye, who was played by the same actor, the same character that was in the original series when it was playing. Him and Daredevil just get into an all-out fight right off the back. Fight scene's not bad. It's pretty good. There's a lot of back and forth. There's some of the classic just punching and kicking and just all-around blind guy jiu-jitsu that you wouldn't expect. But one of the things that makes me laugh is they get tired kind of quickly. Like, they start huffing and puffing after like 4 minutes of fighting, which I know that's a long time to all-out fist fight a human being, but it's just kind of funny. These heroes, they're really tired. And then they just have the ultimate limp battle where they're just limping across the bar, they're limping up the stairs, they're limping on the roof, like they're hurting. You can tell they are human beings that just happen to be good at what they do. They're sore, they're hurting, they need a little bit of biofreeze on those muscles to make sure that they, can heal properly. And then what I also love is that Daredevil throws Bullseye off the roof. Like, there's no pussyfooting around. It's just like, you know what? You killed my best friend. Fuck you. Too many times, they're like, I'm not gonna be like you. No, fuck that. He just shot your best friend. You throw him off a building. You throw him off 2 buildings. Who gives a shit? But he somehow does survive, even though he fell 4 stories off a building, face first onto the concrete. He easily lived. So then we cut to a year later in the show, and Matt Murdock's not doing so well, and his other best friend, Karen Page, she's moved to San Francisco. They've just kind of had a falling out because they've both been so depressed and they can't really talk about it. So they just kind of go their own separate ways. And you really only see her for about 5 minutes in the show, and then she's gone. So Matt's now living this new life. He's got this new law firm that he's doing very well at, and he's single, and he's just not really doing much outside of work. And then there's the dark shadow of old Wilson Fisk. He's kind of just sitting around there, cutting up his eggs to start off this show. And you're like, oh, what the fuck is he going to do? He says, I know I got shot in the face in one of those other Marvel bullshit TV shows, but I'm back and I'm ready to be mayor of New York. Like, forget all the bad things I've done. Forget the, public murders I've done. I'm ready to be mayor of New York. And it is literally the fastest mayor race I've ever seen. He puts his name in the ballot on Thursday, and by Saturday, he's won already. They're already announcing his candidacy, and they're like, he did it. Go kiss some babies because we believe that you are the savior of this city. That part's kind of bullshit, but what are you going to do? And then Matt Murdock goes and finds Wilson Fisk, and they have this meeting in a diner, and they just kind of sit in front of each other, and they basically tell each other, you don't fuck with me, I won't fuck with you. I'm not doing anything illegal anymore. I'm not doing vigilante shit. Don't get in my way. But that ain't gonna happen. At least I hope they both go back to doing their respective trades, because honestly, this would just be a horribly boring TV show about a blind lawyer. So after the conversation, Matt wants to believe that Wilson's actually turned the page and he's just going to try and go back and live to his normal life and just be a lawyer. His lawyer friends actually hook him up on a blind date with a therapist, and they kind of hit it off right away, and they decide like, hey, this is going to work out. This is great. She's kind of a big deal in the therapy world, I guess, if that's a thing. But then the rest of the episode is just kind of Matt Murdock just kind of reveling in the idea that Wilson Fisk is officially the mayor of New York. So one of the first scenes in episode 2 is you see this character, Hector. He's walking down the subway stairs into the platform. He sees two guys kicking the shit out of one dude. He's just trying to be a good Samaritan and help out. So he goes, he starts, beating up both the guys. He starts getting into a fight, but accidentally one of the guys falls off the platform in front of the subway train, and he turns into spaghetti. Immediately then you find out that both those guys were cops, and Hector is in deep shit. Now, because the main character always finds himself in the most complicated situation, he finds himself in front of Hector, and he's trying to figure out, what his story is. He believes him that he didn't push the cop and kill him on purpose, but he knows that there's something behind his backstory that he is not explaining very well. I should also mention that Wilson Fisk has been mayor for all of 3 days, and one of his biggest things that he staked his platform on was that he's going to get rid of all vigilantism. Like, take off the mask. We're not doing the superhero bullshit anymore. If you're not a cop, fuck off. Cut back to our main story. Matt Murdock's having a hard time representing this Hector guy because he knows he's missing something. Like, there's just a missing puzzle piece, and he's got to figure it out. So he sends a PI to go kind of scope out his home, scope out his resident. It turns out that Hector was a vigilante, also known as White Tiger. So now Matt really wants to defend him because in his mind he's thinking, me too, brother. And he starts hearing and noticing all the shady shit with the other cops, so they know that there's some dirty business going on, but he just hasn't quite figured it out yet. Meanwhile, old Wilson Fisk is getting shit done as mayor by filling a hole in the road. I wish that was some kind of a joke, but it's not. Literally, he just gives the construction workers the okay to fill in a hole in the road, and everyone videotapes him, and they're like, this mayor does get shit done. Didn't take much for everyone just to really hop on the old Wilson Fisk bandwagon here. But the cops have been dealing with him for years now, and they all hate him because they know all this shit and all the crime that he's brought to the city. So they're like, we're going to quit. We don't want anything to do with you and your entire platform, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to call it a day. But lo and behold, old naughty Wilson comes back and says, no, you're not, because I'm going to blackmail you. That goofball being back to his old shenanigans again. So Matt Murdock is now defending the vigilante White Tiger, and he's got to find a way to find the guy that he initially saved on the subway platform. One guy in the city of New York, and honestly, you would never find him in a million years unless you had super hearing powers, which our lawyer does. So long story short, he uses his super hearing to find the witness, and he goes to his apartment to talk to him, and he figures out that those cops that were kicking his ass in the subway are actually dirty. Surprise, surprise. So he gets the witness out the fire escape, down the stairs, and into safety. So Matt decides he's going to stay behind and deal with the dirty cops. And they come in and they're like, we're going to kick this blind guy's ass. We're probably going to shoot him in the head, actually. Little do they know is that the blind lawyer actually used to be the Daredevil, and he ends up kicking their ass, just bloodying them to a pulp. And it was an awesome ass kicking, and I enjoyed the hell out of it, and it was a really good end to the second episode. I am very excited that we got this show back on TV, and I am very excited that we got both episode 1 and 2 in the books. Because if I'm being honest, a lot of these Disney Marvel shows have not been great. There's been some sparks and there's been some hot points, but to be completely honest, like for the most part, we're talking C at best. We need something to jumpstart the MCU again. We need something to get this shit going. After you saw Charlie Cox in the newest Spider-Man movie where he played Matt Murdock as the lawyer, you knew something cool was going to happen with this. And I love the cameo, so I hope that we see all the Avengers. I hope they just show up, Hulk smashes, Thor throws his fucking hammer, and we just see an all-out New York brawl again. And out of all the superheroes, somehow our blind lawyer saves the day. But let me know what show you guys are excited for. Let me know if you guys saw the first 2 episodes, what you guys thought of them, what you guys thought of the original series. Like, I just want to talk about this, honestly. Let's get it out in the open. Let's have a heart-to-heart on how we feel about Daredevil. Shit, let's talk about Ben Affleck Daredevil. I don't care. Let's get it out. Let's get it on the books, and let's do something fun with this. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, hope you guys enjoyed the take.